You're welcome back to News Insight. Everybody has turned to be Obi's special advisor. Obi, please embrace coalition. Obi, you don't need coalition. Obi, you need to talk to PDP. Obi, you don't need PDP. You know, everybody. But I think while Obi shouldn't worry about talking to PDP, because PDP are not even talking to themselves, Obi need to talk to certain people so he can take this chance of being a president if there is a political party, which I know there are, not even one, ready to have him be the presidential candidate. Hello, guys. Yeah. I have gone ahead of you people.
Obidient.
Whether you like it or not, Obi has this traction among voters. You can't remove it. No matter what we have for him, what we have against him, and what even the ruling party have against him, like Songolo was talking about some leadership defects the other day, according to him anyway. Obi has this traction of voters behind him, but that is not sufficient to win. Now, somebody like, I think Professor Tufilos, is it Ndobuaku also, the Deputy Director, NLC Political Commission, has said, you know, Obi doesn't need to talk to PDP. He was also careful with his words. You know, Obi doesn't need to talk to PDP because he was able to do that much before. He said they were coasting to victory if INEC had done their work. Let me put it simple, in a simple format. Do you think Obi need a kind of coalition, not necessarily PDP? Because PDP themselves.
I think Obi needs to join a coalition because politics involves many other aspects.
Exactly.
It's not enough to vote. It's also to monitor your vote and also to count your vote. Now, I will also indulge our viewers that they should go to our YouTube page and make comment so that we can do some form of analysis. These are our views on this table. But if they can go there and said, I think Obi needs a coalition.
A lot of people have been saying. Some are saying Obi needs. Some are also saying
let's get a kind of
a wider
view. If Obi, because right now, from the NLC point, he says Obi doesn't need coalition. But I will also understand that what he means is that Obi should not beg for coalition, because don't also forget, going to Labour was a last-minute decision made by Obi. Obi didn't go to Labour from the ongoing. He tried so many other things. He tried NMPP. He tried PDP. It didn't work. He went to Exactly. So now he has a base, but he needs other. That base is not enough. Do you understand? Somebody to monitor INEC. Somebody to shout when he needs to shout. Somebody to. Do you understand?
Somebody to protest if
there's a need to protest. Somebody to read the act, the law, the constitution.
All right, let me hold you from there. Honorable line. Obi moved to Labour Party barely 10 months before election, the last time. And if there is anything we learned from the last election, it is that every election has its own lessons. The last election showed us that you can make a significant impact in an election, even though you are not supported by a governor or by a particular party or a known personality. Just appeal to the people, which is also what RFI was talking about the other day. Yeah. When Obi moved to Labour, Party Tommy stepped down for him. The event happened in Asaba. I can categorically tell you that why Obi came with a mantra, not they give shishi. A lot of Nigerians spent their money for that election to happen that way. People were bringing in their vehicle. People were sponsoring different support groups, different WhatsApp groups, different kind of groups. Different rallies were conducted by people with their money. That might not be exactly the same today. There could be a shift. Do you think if Obi leaves everything for that last-minute move, that is still the best for him?
In the last election or the coming one?
This coming one, of course.
Well, you see, because of so many uncertainty in different political parties and different group and persons, a wise man will always take his time in taking a final decisions. Okay. But when it comes to the issue of the Labour Party saying Obi do not need not just PDP, say PDP or anybody.
No, not Labour Party, it's a commission, NLC.
Nigerian Labour Party
Yes,
Congress.
through Professor
That
Theophilus Ndubako.
Obi do not need either PDP or any party in particular or group of coalition. He needs it. Jesus Christ was anointed king over us. He needed disciples because he can't be everywhere at the same time. Prophet Muhammad had people he worked with. Even Tinubu, with all his connection, his strength and might and ideas, when they were fighting technically with the issue of cashless policy in the APC, whatever, Tinubu had the strength to have formed a new party and registered it. He had the money. He could have taken a lesser party and go to run. He might not have been able to get the victory he got because of party involvement. Nobody should deceive Obi that he doesn't need PDP or coalition or other Nigerians. A tree naturally has never made a forest. No matter how big and strong and old a tree is, it can never be called a forest. The man is talking from his own perspective. If I have the privilege to talk to Peter Obi today, I'll tell him this one honest truth. That even with the crisis in PDP, apart from APC, today, PDP is still one of the parties that have a widespread.
At least they have offices everywhere. Physical offices.
In every ward.
Apart from APC. Now, even with the
They
progress,
might even have a better distribution than APC.
Definitely.
And one thing that denied Obi, one of the factors that worked against him in the last election is actually the party he joined. When we talk about structure. So if PDP do not have, and coalition, remember, does not mean that every party are going to collapse into one party.
No.
There will be other parties in existence that will still vie for other offices, governor, senate, whatever. But when it comes to presidency, they may all agree. Because listen, even if my party belong to coalition of other parties, we can disagree at the last minute. So no, we agree with every agreement here, but we want to go for the presidency by ourselves. So Obi should not throw any chances or opportunity given to him away. He needs all.
All right. Okay, good. Honorable, I'm almost holding the view I held the other time, and I think I continue to hold that view. In as much as I do not see P2P going back to run with PDP because there is a big man, one very big man in PDP.
I will never suggest that Obi should go to PDP to go and run.
Yes, I will not.
The big man you are talking about.
What if Wiki and Atiku invite Obi that they want to sponsor?
Wiki. Leave those people
So
there.
let's get back to what we are talking about. Now, if people like this voice of Ndubako, Theophilus, not being very clear, that Obi also need other coalition. He just say he doesn't need PDP and probably may not need any other one. If people like this voice continue to talk to Obi, do you classify them as deceptive voice?
No, I think he's not talking to Obi. Obi will not. I don't think he's being a spokesperson, rather.
Not necessarily a spokesperson.
for-
NLC is a stakeholder.
Yeah, but
in
he
Labour
wa- he
Party.
wa-
Mind you,
he-
NLC is in tandem or in agreement with
With Obi's,
kind of faction.
but I
so
think-
people still telling me you don't need anybody, And at the end, let me draw your attention to this. There's an unwritten shift of presidency from north to south, south to north. Obi have this one more slot. Otherwise, it's another
8 years
10 years.
or 12 years.
10 years
Now,
from now.
I don't think the Boako was talking to Obi from the standpoint of Labour.
Yes, certainly.
I think it was on a personal view that he was saying. Anybody can say anything, but there was some advice and some confidence to pick from what he's saying. But I don't think what he's saying is that completely Obi doesn't need a coalition. First of all, he said from PDP. Now, we also know the state at which PDP is now. Obi can go there. Certainly. Now, with other coalition he may also be talking about, I believe that Atiku is going to run from the fourth goal. No, if he stand a chance or not is different. But I believe he's nursing an ambition to run one more time. It could just be that what favored Buhari is going to favor him. And that's what, what's his name? Hakim Baba Ahmed said. He said, Tinubu came on the same line with Buhari, it's my turn. And somewhere, somehow, maybe Atiku is coming on that plane. Do you understand? So the coalition that he may be talking about, or he should tell Obi to don't enter into, is coalition with people like Atiku and PDP.
And PDP. Okay, let me put it this way. Do you think Obi will be running at risk? A great risk if there is a block of votes. Let me just give an example. Block of northern votes. I mean, you are not going to have 100% persons voting for one person. But once there is a significant proportion of that block voting for a person or willing to vote for a person, we call it a block. Okay? Let's just say there is a northern block ready to work with P2B in the platform. Let's say, for example, as it's going now, say SDP, because El-Rufai is really working very hard. Working very, very hard. Okay? Say SDP. And they are willing to give him a chunk vote to prove to Asiwaju
that they are united.
We are the real
king
makers, and we are united, and we didn't like the way you treated us, or the way you are even running the economy generally, not even us. It's not about only them. And this vote is them. And all it takes Obi is to go into coalition. Do you think Obi will be running a risk of leaving that block vote unused, and it will now be available to your opponents, which might be Asiwaju at the end of the day?
You see, I do not see Obi as I don't want to be. Let me be careful. He's a wise man.
Okay.
And he's a man that is out to work for the people. And if you see, he's one of the Nigerian politicians today that is in everywhere at every time. Call it the North Central, the South, the East, wherever. There's a national interest. He represents. If he were to be in this government, we would have said the government is doing well. Try to be wherever Nigerians are being felt, either comfort or discomfort. Obi is one Nigerian that is everywhere at the same time in this very moment. He doesn't have anything against the North. He's working with all Nigerians. If Obi sees that opportunity in SDP, even in Labour Party or PDP or even in APC, if you think he can get the last ticket to stand as the presidential candidate and he sees support, I do not see him having any reason to turn down such an opportunity.
All right.
I think that Obi, if he manages his strategic stuff very well, Obi will win from the south to southeast. And the only force that is uniting or unifying this country right now, which I think is Obi, he will sweep the whole north if there's a good agreement on ground.
Yes.
And with the southeast, and almost the whole north, including north central,
Basically.
right? And northwest, right? Then we are left with northeast
As a battleground.
As a battleground. He shares it into two. I think Obi
take
will.
it all.
I think Obi will win overwhelmingly. If
He
there
needs
is-
that northern
he
coalition.
needs that, and I think that he's going to get it.
He will take it.
Yes, he will get it. And is it within north central here? North central here, from Kwara, Abuja, Kogi, Niger,
Nasarawa.
there will be a sweeping Obi
Taraba,
force
all those places.
that you will never know. But I hope that he take advantage of this and also set up his structures faster. There's something we used to talk about Obi's structures not being well. Obi went to Plateau, and from Plateau he was going to Benue. Obi didn't need to go to Plateau and Benue.
No, we've talked about that.
Yes, but these are some of the things that the people need to get involved in whatever Obi is doing.
I think I remember our discussion on that is this. Maybe Obi should learn more to use
To trust people.
to trust and
Delegate.
use structure. Like we said that day, I think our conclusion was that he was going to Benue to kind of give out
Relief
materials to these people, and for some reasons, something obstructed you from going. The people that needed those relief materials, they still needed the material.
And you've already had
they
them.
probably still need it. All you needed to do was, some people voted for you during the last election.
Set up the structure
You
there.
know some people in Benue.
Yeah.
You didn't need to deny those people from getting those relief simply because you as P2B
Couldn't
couldn't
be
go
present.
there. Your relief material should go there. And somebody should come out and say, I am bringing this relief material to you. I am sent here by Mr. P2B. He was sorry he couldn't come. He was supposed to be here yesterday. He was supposed to be here last week. He was supposed to be here so day, but he was unable to make it. But today, he said I should send this to you. P2B is still there. Those are the areas why people are saying oh, we commend you for being everywhere at the same time, but
But
we
you're
want you
selfish.
to do things more through people. Because that in election day, you'll be in your village.
If you allow me to say this, I'll give the analogy of Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ said, if I don't go
Quickly,
you will not be represented everywhere.
Yes.
So now you have Jesus in a lot of places.
Yes.
We need Obi in a lot of places at the same time.
True people.
Yeah, true people.
Now, in addition to our discussions here, you know, when you ask that question, I see SDP doing a miracle. I know I just read one time of a little child whose only brother was ill, and then the parents were poor, and you know, when she saw the parents crying, say, let's take him to the hospital. They said they've done what they can do. What remained for this child is a miracle. And they didn't have money for the surgery. The little girl worked and the little boy picked what he had in his saving, went to the pharmacy. No, we've closed. How can you come? He said, I need a miracle. And the doctor was touched. Now, what was the miracle? SDP, so far so good, cannot be traced to a particular greedy politician. And SDP at the moment is not a one-sided political party. If SDP, what El-Rufai and every one of them is saying is personal ambitions drop, interest is the rescue of the country. If the SDP decide today to finally pick Obi, and they are allowed to pick a northerner that will be accepted the way Obi is accepted, my brother, Elufi.
It's all right. Let's see the miracle. Well, today we might call it a miracle, but for SDP, it's not really a miracle. The SDP was the party that produced MK.
That was still a miracle. Because before then, nobody knew or believed that democracy will come to be. It was a miracle.
All right. Let's keep it open. And I think we'll be. You still have something to say?
No.
Okay, all right. So we are keeping it open that people like Theophilus, Professor Theophilus Obaku, where your advice might be correct in terms of PDP, but they are just fractionally correct. Anybody in PDP that still want to work with P2B, after all, that was his party before. You know, inclusiveness pays more in politics. At the end of the day, it's about number. Yes, I agree with you that he doesn't need PDP as a party to run his ticket, but then he needs coalition, certainly. This is Still News Insight, and we'll be right back.